dance is a universal form of communication. It doesn't matter what language you speak. Everyone can understand certain aspects of movement. I think for me, I grew up in a sort of theatrical family, so I was definitely headed for the theatre. And I started taking ballet classes when I was pretty young. So I was 7 years old, and I saw it on TV, and it just appealed to me. I don't really know why. I guess I liked the costumes, and it was actually a ballet that had chickens in it. So I remember thinking it would be cool to be a chicken. It's kind of a strange thing, I know, but and it's an amazing thing to be able to hear music and kind of, I guess, be able to translate that music through physicality and then somehow make that translation seem resonant to a viewer, to an audience member. And that's kind of what drove me from being a dancer to becoming a choreographer. That sort of desire to somehow move people or transport them somewhere through this, this fantastic unspoken art form. I describe sometimes choreography like a way of visualizing or painting music for an audience. Quite often you can take a really complex piece of music that you might sit down at home or turn on the radio and hear as being very sort of rhythmically complex or atonal or not particularly attractive to the ear. And you take a piece like that and you start to sort of sculpt it using bodies, it can become really accessible to an audience that way. Well, I don't really use my choreography to sort of announce any kind of political agenda, or what I do is really try to create escape for people, to create a world that can be challenging in whatever way, but that ultimately is kind of beauty through movement and music. I guess my process, some choreographers like to work on themselves. They go into a room and with a particular idea or a piece of music, and they work on the material, on the steps, on their own bodies, and then they call dancers in at a later date and kind of work with them and shape it onto them. I prefer to do it directly onto the dancers themselves. I find kind of standing in the room staring at myself in the mirror pretty uninspiring. Whereas if I've got two really beautiful people, or 4 or 6 or 8 really beautiful people there, that often my interaction with them is sort of the starting point or the catalyst for, how the work develops.